Now, the American President Donald Trump has told his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky that the United States could actually own and run Ukraine's nuclear power plants as part of their latest bid to secure a ceasefire in Russia's invasion of its neighbor. A day after speaking to Putin for about 2 hours, Donald Trump held what he described as a very good hour-long phone call with Zelensky. On the other hand, the Ukrainian president labeled his conversation with his U.S. counterpart as positive, frank and very substantive. Now, speaking during an online briefing, Zelensky said that he and Trump had discussed U.S. ownership of the Russian-held Zaporizhzhia power plant, admitting that Europe's largest power plant, which is on the front lines, could take more than 2 years to be made operational again. Now, Zelensky has further said that Ukraine is ready to pause attacks on Russia's energy network and infrastructure as part of a partial ceasefire, but has warned that Kiev will retaliate if Moscow violates the terms of the truce agreement. The Ukrainian president, however, has expressed his belief that Putin would not agree to a full ceasefire. The Russian president, in his own call with Trump, had insisted that there would be no agreement until the West stops all military and intelligence support to Ukraine. Now, facing losses on the battlefield, Zelensky requested additional Patriot defense missile systems during his call with Trump. The U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the National Security Advisor Mike Waltz said that Trump had agreed to work with him and to find what was available, particularly in Europe. Now, Ukrainian and the U.S. officials could, of course, meet in the coming days for fresh talks in Saudi Arabia, where the Russian and the American teams are also due to meet early next week.
The President's team of negotiators and national security experts will be heading to Saudi again later this week to continue working on and ironing out the details. But I would just like to emphasize we have never been this close to peace, and it's only because of President Trump that we are here.
Now, Russia and Ukraine had exchanged about 372 prisoners of war. Now, the prisoners' swap was brokered by the United Arab Emirates, and the Russian defense minister had said that Abu Dhabi had used mediation efforts of a humanitarian nature to facilitate the deal. And according to reports, Russia and Ukraine had exchanged about 175 soldiers each. But Moscow had further returned about 22 seriously injured Ukrainian prisoners of war in need of urgent medical assistance. Now, Kiev and Moscow, however, have accused each other of continuing attacks. Ukraine's defense ministry said that an overnight barrage of Russian missiles and drones had hit railway energy infrastructure in the central part of Dnipropetrovsk region, killing at least one individual. Now, Russia's defense ministry reported a deliberate Ukrainian attack overnight on an oil depot in the south of the country, which they said was aimed at derailing Trump's attempts to broker an end to the fighting.